All right, so today we're going to start going over Aqidah ibn Asakir, the creed, the Aqidah of Ibn Asakir, or also called Al-Aqidatul Murshida, the guiding creed. Without further ado, the author says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, the guiding creed, Al-Aqidatul Murshida. قال الشيخ فخر الدين بن عساكر رحمه الله. Now this text, it is said that Sheikh Fakhruddin ibn Asakir, he's not actually the author of it, but he is its sponsor. He used to promote it, and so it became attributed to him. When I say قال الشيخ فخر الدين ibn Asakir, Sheikh Fakhruddin ibn Asakir, Rahimahullah, may Allah have mercy upon him, said, when I say he's the one who said that, I'm saying to you what I took by talaqi. So I'm telling you, it is said that he's not actually the author of this. So one might say, why are you saying he said? So I'm telling you why I'm saying it. Someone else might have a different answer for you. My answer for you is, because this is how I've learned it. This is how I took it. This is what we recited back in front of our sheikhs. So I'm saying it to you the way I took it. قال الشيخ فخر الدين بن عساكر رحمه الله. Sheikh Fakhruddin ibn Asakir, may Allah have mercy upon him, said. Now, you're going to see this is very brief, easy text, and it doesn't deal with more than the attributes of Allah. It doesn't go into prophethood, and it doesn't go into many subjects. He said, I'lam, know, arshadana Allahu wa iyak. May Allah guide us and you. So, I'lam, know, that means have knowledge. Be knowledgeable or be a knower. Know what he's going to tell you to know. What's knowledge? Knowledge is a perception of something as it is in reality. To perceive something as it truly is. Perceive properly. Arshadana Allahu wa iyak. May Allah guide us and you. When he says, may Allah guide us, either he means himself, either the author means himself by us, or he means himself and someone else with him. He could mean himself without anyone else with him, or he could mean himself with someone else with him. May Allah guide us and you. أنه يجب على كل مكلف. So look at these mistakes in here. It's harakats, mistakes in here. أنه يجب على كل مكلف. That obligatory upon everyone accountable is أن يعلم أن الله عز وجل واحد في ملكه, is knowing that Allah, invincible and great, is unique in his dominion. أن يعلم أن الله is that he knows. Who's he? The accountable one. It's obligatory on every accountable one that he knows. And ya'lama is knowing, or that he knows, is that he knows anna Allah azza wa jalla, that Allah, invincible and great, is wahidun fi mulki, unique in his dominion. His dominion is his ownership of everything. That's one of his attributes. His mulk is an eternal, everlasting attribute of his, which is his ownership. You know what wahid means? He's unique, he's one, means he doesn't have a partner. خلق العالم بأسره. He created the universe in its entirety. If you want to translate alam as universe. or you could translate alam as world. He created the world in its entirety, but then world would mean not earth, world would mean everything, all of the creation. خَلَقَ الْعَالَمَ بِأَسْرِهِ. He created the world or the universe in its entirety. Nothing of it is not created by him. And al-alam, the entire universe, that's different from heavens and earth. So don't say Allah created the universe in 6 days, or Allah created the alam in 6 days. Because alam is broader than heavens and earth. Heavens and earth is part of the alam, but not all of it. Because alam includes paradise and hell. And paradise and hell are outside of heavens and earth, but still part of the alam. He created heavens and earth in 6 days. خَلَقَ الْعَالَمَ بِأَسْرِهِ. He created the universe in its entirety. Al-ulwiya was-sufli. The upper and the lower. Yani the upper part of it and the lower part of it. The upper part of it is the heavens. And the lower part of it is the earth. The earth. And the upper part of it includes paradise. And the lower part of it includes hell. Of the alam, not heavens and earth, the alam. The upper part of the alam includes paradise. And the lower part of the alam includes hell. وَالْعَرْشَ وَالْكُرْسِي. And the arsh and the kursi. He created those two. The arsh and the kursi. It's obligatory on us to believe in those. But knowing about the arsh and the kursi, that's not part of the immediate knowledge. That's not part of the immediate knowledge that the new Muslim has to learn it urgently. But it is something that we're obligated to believe in. The arsh is the ceiling of paradise. Yani, the arsh and the kursi, those are two huge objects in the upper world. The arsh being the bigger one. In fact, the arsh is the largest thing that Allah created. People translate it as the throne. And that, if you're going to translate it like that, it's going to be with a capital T. And it's not a chair, it's the ceiling of paradise. Although thrones of different cultures don't look the same, because it might look like a bed. It's for some people, a throne in their culture is like a chair, but for some cultures, a throne is like a bed. Anyway, this arsh, it's the ceiling of paradise. And it's the largest thing that Allah created. I'm going to try not to go into too many details. خَلَقَ الْعَالَمَ بِأَسْرِهِ. He created the world in its entirety. Al-ulwiya was-sufli. The upper and the lower. وَالْعَرْشَ وَالْكُرْسِي. And he created the arsh and the kursi. Those, both of them, are part of the upper world. So the author here, he mentioned something general and broad that's inclusive of something more specific. And then after he mentioned the general broad thing, he mentioned what's more particular that's already included. He mentioned them in particular. The kursi, it is a large object in the upper world. It's larger than all heavens and earth lined up side by side. Allah says, وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. It means his kursi is wider than heavens and earth. What that means, though, is had they been lined up side by side. You see how wide the heaven is. What we see above us is just the first heaven. It goes as far as our eyes can see. It goes further than what our eyes can see. It's very wide. And there are 7 of those stacked up, one above the other. The Kursi is wider than all 7 of them side by side. And the Arsh is wider than the Kursi. Kursi means literally in Arabic language chair or stool. A chair or stool. That's the name of this thing, but it's an object in the upper world. And this Arsh and this Kursi, if we do not know their details, then there's no burden on us. It's enough for us to believe in 2 huge objects in the upper world. If you believe in that without knowing their details, you fulfilled your obligation. That's like how we believe in mutashabih verses of the Quran. Don't we say, for example, istawa, Allah knows what it means. Whatever it means is befitting. Yes, so it's like that. Or, for example, don't we believe that the deeds will be weighed? Yeah, how will the deeds be weighed? Will the deeds be turned into bodies and then put into the scale? Or will the pages of the books be weighed in the scale? Or will the people be weighed in the scale? Or what? If we don't know how exactly that is, this will not harm us as long as we believe in it generally. That's sufficient. So we believe in the Arsh and the Kursi, and that's mentioned in the Aqidah of At-Tahawi. So if Allah will, maybe we'll just go through this whole anthology here from beginning to end. We're right now in the beginning. And then we'll get to the Aqidah of Tahawi, inshallah, and then he'll talk about the Arsh. He'll mention the Arsh and the Kursi. So after he mentioned all the alam, he created the alam in its entirety. Then he mentioned what's included in that. The upper and the lower. He already said the whole thing, but then he went and said the upper and the lower. And then after he said the upper and the lower, he said what's included in that anyway. Wal Arsha wal Kursi. And the Arsh and the Kursi, because both of those are part of the upper world. Was samawati wal ard. I don't know who did the harakat for this. Was samawati wal ard. And the heavens and the earth. So the heavens, those are 7 objects, one above the other. The lowest one is the one that's above us. We see the underside of that object. It is there over the earth without having pillars to hold it up, nor does it have a cable from which it is suspended. Rather, it stays where it is by the power of Allah without falling down. That's a solid object, that heaven that's above us, that's a solid object. The blue that you see, that's the underside of a very large, perfectly flat, solid object. It's not a blue bubble around the earth. And the heaven is over the earth. It's not around the earth. It's not surrounding the earth. It's over the earth. Some people, they didn't think about this because if you know that the heaven is over the earth, it's not surrounding the earth, it's over the earth. If you understand what that means that that there's no people upside down. You know how some people believe that there's people on the earth upside down, on the other side of the world, upside down in comparison to us? It's not like that. Because if it's like that, that means that if they're upside down compared to us, that means when they look up, then they see the sky that would be below us. And when we look up, we see the sky. For them, it's below them. That would mean that the sky is surrounding the earth like a bubble, which is not the case. The sky is flat, and it is over the earth, 500 years above the earth. Between the earth and the sky is 500-year distance. That's what's between them is called fada. Fada means space or void. When I say space, though, I don't mean sci-fi space. And then there's blackness, endless blackness, and stars are millions and billions of years apart from each other. I'm not saying that. I mean space just in a literal sense. Just like there's space between my face and this microphone, that's space between my face and my microphone. There's space between the earth and the heaven above it. 500 years of space though. Fada. Between that earth and that sky, there's stars, sun, moon, clouds. وَالسَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, and the heavens and the earth he created. That's part of the alam. That's what was created in 7 days, heavens and earth, not the whole alam. And there are 7 earths. And there's references for all these things. There's ayats that I could be giving you. I'm not saying all of them though. Yani, I'm just kind of being brief here. Maybe I'll put some stuff in footnotes, inshallah, if Allah enables me to get around to that. There's 7 earths and there's 7 heavens. Those earths are stacked one over the other with space in between them. And those heavens are stacked one over the other with space in between them. Between the highest earth and the lowest sky, that's what we can see. That's the realm we live in. We live on the highest earth, below the lowest sky. Above the 7th sky, or heaven if you want, sky or heaven or firmament, above the 7th one is paradise. And above paradise is the arsh, because the arsh is the ceiling of paradise. And below the arsh is the kursi. So the kursi is below the arsh, and the arsh is over paradise. All of that is over the 7th heaven. The arsh compared to the paradise is like the sky compared to the earth for us. Here we are on the earth, we look up above us, there's sky, which is a solid object. We see the underside of it. In paradise, inshallah, we all make it. May Allah enable us to enter into the garden. In paradise, what's there? There's al-arsh. The arsh is like the sky for paradise, the ceiling of paradise. But Musa, unless I say something that you need clarification for, feel free to ask. But the extra information, just wait. Maybe I'll mention it for you before you ask me, inshallah. And then if I don't mention it, you can ask me. Question, is the earth flat? No, the earth's not flat. But there's no people who are upside down on the earth, though. I'll tell you something interesting. If you take a globe, you know how they put the globe and they put it on a stand and they tilt it because they say it's on an axis. So it'll be on a stand tilted on its axis. Okay, forget all of that. Take that globe, point the north towards the real north, and the south towards the real south, and the east towards the east, and the west towards the west. So like Africa and Asia is going to be towards the east, and North and South America are going to be towards the west, and then North Pole facing north, South Pole facing south. If you do that, interesting thing is what's underneath of that is nothing's there on the globe. I mean, there's no continents there. He says, so to clarify, the other is after 7 heavens is the paradise, then the kursi, and then the arsh. I can only say it the way I mentioned it for you. This is how I learned it. So over the 7th heaven is paradise, disconnected from it. Over paradise is the ceiling of paradise, al-arsh. And under the arsh is the kursi. So I'm saying it like that because this is the way I learned it. So I'm not going to say, then there's paradise, then there's kursi, then there's arsh like that. It's possible that the way I'm wording it means something else. So I'm going to say it to you just the way I learned it. So over the seventh heaven, there's paradise with disconnection between them. Over paradise is the ceiling of paradise. And the kursi is under the ceiling of paradise. You said, so what is the ISS and astronauts in the space above the Earth? Is that International Space Station? So are they between Earth and sky? For sure. If they are, they're just in the sky. That's it. They're they're up high. If they are really there, probably they are. But yani, if they are really there, then they are just high. That's all. They're high in the sky. Like the satellites they have. They have satellites up there. They take pictures of the Earth underneath. They're just up in the sky. That's it. You said, isn't there darkness? I never went there. So I can't tell you. I haven't learned also, Yanni. I haven't learned what is that. And so what is the experience there? I don't know. But one thing it is important for you to know, when it comes to this, what they call International Space Station and these things, what they report is not a report of tawatur. It's not successive mass report. It's whatever they say it is. Whatever they report to the people is what they say it is. It's not like something all the people can witness and then it's verified. Rather, it's whoever's there, they say this is such and such, and nobody even knows who they are. Question: how would you describe the shape of the Earth? Would it be spherical? It's not exactly spherical. It's wider than that. It's not a ball. You said, so even the seven skies are connected rather than stacked on top of each other. They're disconnected from each other. There's space between them. When I say stacked, I just mean one above the other. But there's space between them. 500 years distance, walking distance between them. Yeah, if you want to translate it that way. Masir. So masiratu, the walking distance. But yani, if you want, you can just say a 500-year distance between them. Yeah, that's a long time. 500 years, that means you're going to die before. If you got put into a shuttle, let's say it had enough fuel to get there, yeah, you're not going to make it. Not with our normal lifespan that we have in the nation of Muhammad, you're not going to make it. They claim it takes years just to get to Mars. MashaAllah. Hakadha. So, he said, do you have a picture with all of this illustrated? He said, may you explain the report of a miracle performing prophet being the same as a report that's mutawatir? They're not the same, but I'll come back to that. Ask me after, inshallah. So he said, خَلَقَ الْعَالَمَ بِأَسْرِهِ. He created the world in its entirety. Al-ulwiya was-sufli, the upper and the lower. Wal-arsha wal-kursi, and the arsh and the kursi, which I'm not going to translate those as the throne and the stool. Some people might. They might say the throne and the footstool or something like that. So these are the names of these objects. There are some things that the religion named them for us. Even if the Arabs knew these words in their language, but without the revelation, they didn't know about these things. Then Allah Ta'ala sent Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam with the religion. And this religion was revealed in the language of the Arabs. And so there are things that the Arabs didn't know about, but Allah gave these things names, and these things, their names are words that the Arabs knew. They knew the words. So I'm not going to say throne and chair or something like that. I'm just going to call them the arsh and the kursi, which are two huge objects of the upper world. وَالسَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, and the heavens. There are 7 of them. They are flat. And the earth. And here, when he says وَالْأَرْضِ, so the word ard is singular. Samawat is plural. Ard is singular. And what's meant by this singular is the lower world. And what's meant by as-samawat is all the 7 heavens. And more than that. And what's meant by the ard, earth, is this earth we live on. And more than that too, even the other earths below. Even though that's singular. The word ard is singular. وَمَا فِيهِمَا وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا, and anything in them or between them. He created all of that. What's in them, what's in heavens and what's in earth, and what's between heavens and earth, as I mentioned for you, the sun, the stars, the moon, the clouds and planets. That's all between heavens and earth. So if there's a 500-year distance between heavens and earth, that means, and the sun is between heavens and earth, and that means the sun is not 90 million miles away. And the sun is not bigger than the earth also. The sun's not bigger than the earth. Subhanallah. You know, when I was a kid learning in grade school, they told us the sun is bigger than the whole earth. And they described the sun so big compared to the earth that in my own mind I said, well, that according to that means everywhere should be light. The whole world should be lit up. Why this? Because they say, you know, only the side that's facing the sun is lit, and the side that's away from the sun is dark. So that the side that's facing the sun, that's where daytime. The side that's away from the sun, that's where nighttime. And they say the earth is spinning, so that rotates, that alternates. And I said to myself when I was a kid, when I first learned that, I said, so big, should be filling the whole earth. And then what do? They have model. You know that model they have? So the model has like a sun, and then it has like all the little balls, and then you like can turn it, and then the model turns. And that's how they try to demonstrate for you that how one side is lit and the other side is dark. It doesn't work. The model doesn't work. It doesn't. One half is not going to be dark only. So it really force your imagination. It's like they're going to show you something to say, look, half of it is lit, half of it is dark. But really it's not. So really you have to fill the gap with your imagination, because it's like they're saying, we're just giving you an idea here. But Sheikh Abdullah said, I learned this after I became Muslim. I was a grown man. Sheikh Abdullah said, had the sun been as big as they said it was, the whole earth would be lit. I said, I knew it. MashaAllah. Yeah. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. And the stars too. So if there's the distance between earth and sky is 500 years, then the stars are not millions of years apart. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. Hakadha. So that's what they say. So then I might as well say before I move on, and also the earth is not spinning. The sun is moving. The sun is moving. The earth is not spinning, and the sun is moving. Now what I'm telling you here about the earth's not spinning and the sun is moving, yani, I'm saying that and I'm taking responsibility for my words, and I don't even know all the people who's listening right now. But I'm telling you now as an advice for you to be mindful before you go and say that to people, not because it's false, but because a lot of people will not understand. And then then they might not want to listen to you anymore. You're going to say, what? So it's not that it's a big secret or anything, but it's just a matter of being wise because people don't know. Don't you want people to learn about Islam and to believe in Allah and His Messenger and to be Muslims? What did Imam Ali say? حَدِّثُ النَّاسَ بِمَا يَعْرِفُونَ. Talk to the people with what they understand. Address the people with what they understand. أَتُحِبُّونَ أَن يُكَذَّبَ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. Would you like for Allah and His Messenger to be contradicted? So right now, I could have skipped this now altogether. But since we're here, and because, I don't want to just hold the knowledge like it's a secret. So I'm telling you, the earth is not spinning, it's still, and the sun is moving. And that's what we observe. That's what we observe. So a big part of Western education, and it's spread to many places, is it incorporates philosophy. And what philosophy, the basic way to practice philosophy is to defy observation or to confirm what's unobservable. Basically to confirm theories. He said, does that mean the sun is not in the center? I never heard the sun was in the center of anything. Allah says, وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍّ لَهَا. The sun runs in a pathway that it has. Surah Yasin. I never heard anything about the sun being in the middle of anything. Well, we're saying right now that the sun moves, so that means that scale is, we're not relying on that in any way whatsoever.
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Can you explain that again about the philosopher thing?
Yeah. Philosophy, like, how would you practice philosophy? Basically, the philosophy boils down to defying what's observable. Denying what's observable. Or the reverse of that, which is confirming what's unobservable. So that's why a philosopher is going to say to you, for example, your house is moving. Your wall is moving. It's always moving. And you say, wow, it looks like it's still to me. You say, yeah, I know it looks like that, but let me tell you. And then he's going to try to tell you why your house is moving, why your wall is moving. That's philosophy. Or philosophy is going to say, for example, the sun's not moving. So then you say, how sun's not moving? Look, it was right there this morning. Now it's over here. And say, it looks like that, but really, let me tell you. So that's how philosophy goes. Our religion didn't burden us with this. We have to believe in the unseen, yeah, but only because the religion told us. The religion told us there are angels and jinn and enjoyment of the grave and torture of the grave. We don't usually observe these things. But had it not been for the religion, then how are we going to confirm that? With the kuffar, though, they say all kinds of stuff that nobody can confirm. Like, nobody can confirm through normal way, is what I mean. According to them, who can confirm these things? Just only those top scientists that we don't even know any of their names. It's not like Shafi'i, Abu Hanifa, we know their names. Nobody even knows. What do we call them? We call them they. They say. You said, who derived that definition or observation about philosophy? I did. I didn't take that from somebody. But I came to that after I studied and I understood, because we learned about philosophy. And we learned, the things we learned. So when I thought about the case of these philosophers and all the things that they say, like some of them say nothing exists. And some of them say there are eternal creations. And some of them say other things. So then, then I understood that I see what they're doing. What they're doing is they would see something that's really observable and then they will defy it. They'll say, wait, that thing you think you see, let me tell you why that's not what it is. Or they do the reverse of it. So something that you could never see, they'll tell you why it's true. So you say, your wall, don't you know your wall's moving always? You say, no way. And especially they want to teach it to the kids so that the kids will take it. If you're a grown adult, it might be harder. But when you're a kid and they teach it to you in school, so they'll tell you, yeah, the wall, it's always moving. I say, how's that? I say, yeah, because it has particles and atoms and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, or yeah, like they say, everything's not real. All those things, yeah. So that's how I came to that. But I didn't hear it from a teacher. But we took in the university in Lebanon when I studied there, we had a semester of falsafa, philosophy. But really it was refuting philosophy. The title of the course was falsafa, philosophy. That's the title only. But because they had to, for their accreditation, they had to put that. But really what we did was we learned about what they say and refuted them, learned how to refute them. MashaAllah. Tayyib. So I think we shouldn't go further for today. Alhamdulillah. I thought, I said Aqidah Ibn Asakir is so easy and so brief. We'll probably finish Aqidah of Ibn Asakir in 2 or 3 sessions. And we didn't even get past the first sentence, second sentence. MashaAllah. The dominion of Allah is his ownership, his eternal ownership. You say, I have another question. Take the globe, point towards the real north and south towards real south, east towards real east, and west towards real west. What's interesting is that there's no continents there. Why is that interesting? There's no continents from the underneath. Why that's interesting, there's no continents from underneath, because I'm telling you, there's no people who are upside down on the earth. If you do like I'm telling you, then what's going to be on the ground? If you point the north towards the north, and the south, the north pole on the globe towards the north, and the south pole towards the south, point Africa and Asia towards the east, and point North America and South America towards the west, then what's going to happen? All the continents are going to be on the top, and then underneath there's not going to be any continents there. You said, what's the hikmah behind Allah creating the alam in 6 days? No, not the alam. What's correct saying? Not alam. How should it be? We don't say he created alam in 6 days. Yeah, heavens and earth. He created heavens and earth in 6 days. Heavens and earth is less than all of the alam. So he created heavens and earth in 6 days. The wisdom behind the creation of heavens and earth in 6 days is to teach the slaves to take their time. Yes. To put things in proper place, in sequence. Things take time and they need order. Like, I'll give you an example. It was mentioned in the story of Uzair. You know Uzair, who was from the children of Israel. He died for 100 years and he came back to life, and his donkey died too. And his donkey came back to life too. So it was mentioned that after he came back to life, the angel told him, look at your donkey, and he saw the bones scattered. So he said, now watch. And then he saw the bones start coming back together. And then it was reported that once the bones were back, then that's when the nerves and muscles started coming out. And then the skin came over top. And then the hair came out. So if Allah willed, could it just poof, would have been back again. All at once, but didn't come all at once, came stages. One thing, then the next thing, then the next thing. That's how Allah creates things, usually, Yani. See how the babies are created. So that's also how the slaves then would do. Yani, they will do something. They will build on what they do. They start something. Then after that, they do the next step. And then after that, they do the next step. Question: how would you teach someone that Allah created the heavens and earth in 6 days while making sure they know Allah is not bound by time? You say, He eternally willed. His creating heavens and earth in 6 days means He eternally willed for them to be created in 6 days. It doesn't mean that He is Himself acting in time, and that as time goes, He is changing in time and doing one thing and then doing something else. Doing something and then He stops doing that, then He starts doing something else until He's finished doing that, and then He does something else. No. Eternally, without changing, He willed for heavens and earth to come into existence in the sequence that they came into existence, which took 6 days. That was processed that took 6 days. And each one of those days took 1,000 years. Each one of those 6 days was 1,000 years long. So that means they were all being created during all that, throughout that whole time. You're welcome. Hell is below the seventh earth. And below hell is Al-Farsh. Al-Farsh. F-A-R-S-H. Al-Farsh. In contrast to Al-Arsh. Al-Arsh is over paradise. Al-Farsh is under hell. That's the lowest point of the creation. Al-Farsh. Is the earth like a flat sphere? Yani, what do they call that shape? Obloid? Something like that? What's the word they use? It's not like a ball, a perfect ball, sphere. A sphere is a ball. It's not like that. It's wider than that. Because even when I say if you take the globe and you put it the way I told you, that doesn't mean the earth is like the way the globe is shaped. I'm just saying it's interesting that if you were to do that, you'd find that the part that's going to be on the floor, there's no continent there. You say, is it true that the universe doesn't have an outside? Yani, the universe has an edge, and beyond that edge, there's nothing. There's no space and there's no object. Beyond the universe, meaning the whole alam, beyond the entire alam, beyond the alam in its totality, there's no space and there's no object. Were all the continents connected together at one point? I have not learned. I have not learned about that. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Nothing to do with this class. I think I'm missing a word from what you said the other day about Imam Junaid. What he said about monotheism.
Yes. He said, at-tawheed, monotheism, is ifradul qadimi min al-muhdath, distinguishing the eternal from the eventual.
Distinguishing, that's what I was.
Yani, telling the difference, making a difference. Making a difference between what is eternal and what is eventual.
Barakallah.
Ameen wa feekum. Okay. Any last questions, inshallah? You said, how do we define al-farsh? The floor of hellfire? No, it's not the floor of hellfire. It's under hellfire. And the only definition I know for it is that it's the lowest point of the creation. It's the lowest point of the creation. You said, how, do you know how many years it's been from Adam till now? No, but less than 1 million. Less than 1 million. You said, so the universe exists without a place? Yes. It fills its own space. It fills its own space. The universe fills its own space. And then it's not in a place after that. It fills its own space and it's not in a place after that. Is that clear for you? When I tell you it fills its own space? So, yeah, let me go back to this question here. Do I know how many years it's been from Adam until now? I said, no, I don't, but it's less than 1,000,000. The whole universe, the world, I mean, not the universe. Sorry, not the universe. The earth, this earth, heavens and earth, is less than 1,000,000 years, not 1,000,000 years old. So you see the kuffar, they say, yeah, this thing, this animal, its ancestor goes back 60 million years. They're guessing. Does the moon emit its own light? Yes, it does. It's not reflecting the sun's light. It emits its own light. What's the ayah? Let me see. وجعل القمر فيهن نورا وجعل الشمس سراجا. It means he made the moon a light and he made the sun a lantern. That's to express that the sun is many times brighter than the moon itself, but the moon does have its own light. That's in Surah Nuh. And also Allah Ta'ala says in Surah Yunus, هو الذي جعل الشمس ضياء والقمر نورا هو الذي جعل الشمس ضياء والقمر نورا. Surah Yunus ayah 5. He it is who made the sun brilliances, yani brilliance lights. Duya is a plural. Brilliant, yani brilliances. And he made the moon a light. Are there any intelligent species that has free will besides mankind and jinn, angels, and the people of paradise? Al-Hurul Ain and Al-Ghilman al-Mukhalladun in paradise, the people of paradise. But there's no extraterrestrials though, like the Greys. That's just what's the word? There's a word they use that I'm looking for. The word's escaping me now. No, there's no kainat fadaiyah. Extraterrestrials, no, it's nothing like that. And what can we say about that? We would say, for example, how do we know? How can we be more sure? Because if there were, then we have questions. Who's their father? Because we know the father of humans is Adam. The father of genies is Iblis. And angels were all created at the same time. And Allah knows how he created the people of paradise. And then, okay, so if there's some others, who's their father? That's one question. Another question is, are they accountable? Since it's supposing that they're not mere animals, they have intellects. Are they accountable then, or the message of a prophet never reached them? Or did the message of the prophet reach them, so they're accountable to be Muslims too? So there's nothing like that. Will they appear on Yawm al-Qiyamah? When Allah destroys heavens and earth, and then he recreates heavens and earth, and he brings the creations back. Will they be present Yawm al-Qiyamah too? Or no? So there's nothing like that. The question about the moon being a light, Surah Yunus, ayah 5. Also, Surah Nuh, ayah 16. Really, a lot of those, like the movies and things that they talk about in space and aliens and things like that, stuff that's done by, who's that guy? Ridley Scott and others. He's an atheist, Ridley Scott, if you know what I'm talking about. Movie maker, movie director. He's an atheist. His movies, they have They have the theme of atheism, but people don't recognize that. It's interesting to me. People, they watch movies and shows and they pull them apart and they talk about all the themes in there. None of them ever point out the fact that he's pumping atheism. The themes of atheism escape them. He said, can it be said that the universe is the source of places? I never heard such a thing. I don't know what's that supposed to mean also. The universe, it is a place. You are welcome. You said, are places really existing or just product of bodies? So some scholars said the place is a self-existing expanse. Did you understand that statement? Hakada. Barakallahu feek. Alhamdulillah. You said on Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam reached Al-Maqam. What would that be? I just know that. Oh, you said reached La Makan. No. I never heard about that. I don't know any hadith that says something like that. That the Prophet reached La Makan. I never heard anything like that. Yani, if somebody supposed that, if somebody offered that to me, I will tell them, show me where you got that from. Sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam. Yes, I did go to university in America. My major was English language, English education. MashaAllah. طيب, let's go. والطريقة رفاعي. But I took Qadri too. But I do Rifa'i. If my heart was stronger, I'd do Rifa'i and Qadri all the time. But it's not that strong. But you have to be careful because some of the tariqas have been infiltrated by pantheists. But the Rifa'i tariqa was not infiltrated by pantheists. And the Qadiri tariqa was not infiltrated by pantheists. I don't know. I have no knowledge of Qadiris being infiltrated by pantheists. The Rifa'is were not, though. But there were other tariqas that got infiltrated by pantheists. You said time is just measurement of events. Yeah, time is measurement of events. Or comparison. It's the comparison of events. Comparison between events. Time is the comparison of events. Yeah, mashallah. I mean, you too. And place, according to some scholars, the void which body takes. Yes. Correct. Okay. Barakallahu feek. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. أستغفرك وأتوب